We are live. Me and my decaf iced coffee are live. Yay. Welcome, welcome. This feels surreal. I didn't do my vocal exercise warm-ups, but it's going to be okay. For those of you joining live, come on in. I know live chats on Substack are kind of a new thing, so it's a little different from Zoom. We can't see you, but I know you're here. I can see how many folks there are, and the chat is very live, so you can put anything you want to say in there, say hello, say where you're joining from. And we're just going to figure this out together because it's not the most popular thing to go live yet on this platform. And I'm really excited to be one of the first to really use this space as an opportunity for us to gather in this way. For those of you who don't know me, hello, I'm Robyn Youkilis. Yes, I am a natural redhead, but this is definitely highlighted. But my two girls are very, very red. I am the mama of a 10-year-old daughter named Navy, who is away at sleepaway camp. I know some moms cry and some moms cheer. And let's just say I was mostly the latter. I miss her, but very happy for I should say this, I should preface this by saying she is like Miss Camp. Like she is doing the things and the dances and the songs and the electives and winning awards for water skiing. And I was mostly doing theater, circus arts, and like grumbling on the sidelines anytime anybody asked me to do anything remotely cheering or sports or lyrics for songs and things. So she is like having the time of her life. And then I also have another daughter who just turned 5. Her name is Dover. So we have a 5-year age gap, and that was actually on purpose. And I love talking about really intentionally spacing your children, or if you choose to have a single child and like how that can be a really empowering choice. And I'm just really all for the choices we want to make that feel right for us and not having others' judgment cloud our intuition and our vision for ourselves. And career-wise, I have been a health coach for 18 years now, which is crazy. So like, yeah, before Whole Foods was like really a thing and social media even. And then I eventually wrote 2 best-selling books. They are here under some adorable art project, Go With Your Gut and Thin From Within. The third one is actually Thin From Within Go With Your Gut produced in the UK. It had a different cover and called Reset Your Gut. I'm seeing chat. Yay. Thank you for joining us. Los Angeles, Florida. I'm so happy you're here. And if you're watching the replay, woo. So started as a health coach 18 years ago, went to the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. I had no idea what I was doing with my life. I just knew that I loved food. And I also didn't love, but like was in this dieting spiral hellhole. And truthfully, I say, like, I thought nutrition school would be the next thing to fix me and fix my body and fix my emotional eating and overeating. And I learned so much more than what I had originally intended when I went there. And because I had no idea what to do with my life, they taught me to be a coach. And so I was like, I'm just going to go do that. And that led to the books and retreats and all of these coaching programs. And so here I am now. I mostly focus on keynote talks and corporate wellness workshops, retreats. I have a retreat coming up in August we're going to talk more about. And this show and this Substack. And the original vision for this show came through 6 years ago at the height of the pandemic. So post like the winter, but spring into summer, I was closing a coaching program that I had been running live for 3 years. So a live call on Zoom every single week for 3 years. New content, new deliverables, new things that we were learning together that I was teaching, really something very special. I think that grew to over, 60 women or something like that. I capped it, but they came in and out. And it also included live retreats. So led quite a few retreats in my life. And I was ready to put that down. I had been teaching on Zoom for 6 years before the pandemic. So when I say I'm an OG, it is a well-earned title in the wellness and online marketing world. And when I was ready to put down that program, it's wild. Like I closed it. I had the closing circle. And then I got on my bed and literally passed out for 2.5 hours, like gone. So it just goes to show like the energy we carry and the loads that we carry emotionally, physically, literally, are very, very real. And so when I felt like I pictured like it was like I was holding hands of all these women for so many years and I just got to like lay them down, I passed out. And I remember feeling this like deep calm and peace and excitement at what was next. And so what came through as to what was next, another fun fact with me, for those of you who don't know, I am psychic. I do see things, I hear things, I know things. Mostly that's just in visions of an idea or a connection or a story as it connects to someone I'm working with. Yes, sometimes past loved ones come through. I do occasionally run psychic circles. My psychic downloads will be a very mindful little sprinkling in our work together. And yes, I've always been like this. I just didn't have the name for it or labels for it because to me, it was just all I knew. So it would come through as a child in ways of like, my mom would say like, well, do you want to do this, or whether it was my schedule or something I wanted to work on. And I would actually have a screen that comes over down my left eye. And I would see what was meant to happen projected on that screen. It was wild. And again, I was like, this is what we're doing. This is what I see. And when I would say things like I see, my mom wasn't like, are you talking to dead people? Like she didn't, you know what I mean? Like it didn't have that layer. It was just like me being super clear on what I saw, knew, felt. And yes, I would use the language like my intuition, not as a child, but as I got older. But I'm really realizing now more that I've trained and got some certifications around psychic mediumship that, it was bigger than that. So when I put down the hands that I was holding of the ladies for this wonderful program, I had the vision for a show. And it didn't have a title yet. It didn't have a platform yet, but I just saw exactly this. So it's really cool to have a vision that you have come true. And if you've had a moment where that's happened for you, like take a moment to really honor that. Like whether it was what a partner, a relationship, a child, like my first child looks exactly to the T like the child that I had visions of growing up that I would have one day. She looks exactly like if I could draw it exactly in my so it's really cool to clock those things because we're all psychic in some way and we're all intuitive. And so for us to just mark those little moments when you felt something, knew something, and it came true, like, cool. So I had the vision for the show. And I think part of it was just this deep knowing that I wanted to gather in this way next in my career, but also having all of your work be behind high paid programs for most of my career started to feel like, I don't know, like all of us, what was possible was missing out on the goods. Like there was something that I was building that was so special to the people that were there. And there was no seat for those that didn't say yes to a program, for whatever reason. And so I really wanted to take down the walls of a specific container and time frame and price and really open this up and see what we could build together with just a much bigger audience and community. And so that was the vision. And it's really cool because I had a session with an astrologer at the time. And I was all hyped up on this. So I thought it was going to be on YouTube, but I was never quite sure, which just goes to show like sometimes we have a piece of a vision, but we don't have the whole picture yet because it was supposed to be here on Substack, but it didn't exist yet. So I couldn't see it yet. And then I'll tell you about the Substack piece. But so I was all excited about moving forward with the show. It was all like, yes, this is what I'm doing next. Yes, this is what I'm doing next. And I had a session with an astrologer and she looked at my chart and she's like, you think you're like, I think that was maybe May or June. I thought I was going to launch it like July, August. She's like, I think it's going to be a little bit longer than that. And I was like, oh, okay. What, like a year, a couple years, 3 years? She's like, I think it's going to be a lot longer than that. And I'm quite stubborn and sort of dug my heels. I'm like, she's wrong. I'm like, this is happening. Like, this is what I'm supposed to do next. This is what I'm supposed to create next. And it's also such a really good lesson in like patience and not being so attached to the timeline you think you're supposed to do something in. And so I was like, okay, I tucked that in my back pocket. And lo and behold, the astrologer was right because here we are 6 years later. And the way that this vision of this show, of this gathering, of this community came through, knowing where it was meant to be was because in the fall, I think it was October, which is my birthday month. Shout out to all my Libras. I'm actually a triple Libra. So really good things happen in my birthday month. That's just always been the case. I booked like really fun jobs and like really cool projects. And this was before I even worked for myself. Like I remember I was in charge of a film festival and the film festival was like my birthday weekend. And it was like, for me, it was really cool to get to work on that because like, it's like, oh, I'm doing this awesome thing that I love. So if you're just joining, welcome. Okay, we're still good. My computer went quiet for a minute. I forgot that I should probably touch the keyboard. Okay, I have to set like I said, we're building this together. 10 minutes is when my computer goes dark, but I'm glad I didn't lose you. If you're just joining, hi, I'm just sharing how this show came to be and what you can expect. And then we'll have a little tiny, teensy, tiny meditative moment together. If you have any questions in the chat or anything that you want to comment on, the chat is live. Go ahead, put that in there. I'd love to see it. It helps, helps the community along, I guess. And so what I was sharing was how we ended up here was in October, I got an email from Substack, just from like their newsletter list. And it said that they were connecting the Substack lives with Netflix. And everything in my body just went, yes. Like, yes, that is where the show, this vision is supposed to have a home. Who knows in the future? But to me, it was like, if we can make something here that feels entertaining, that feels inspiring, that feels joyful, that feels helpful and supportive and helps you feel more seen. And then you can sit on your couch and stream it on Netflix the way that you would watch a show. To me, I was like, that's my bigger vision. And I'll just put that out there. Like, I want to have a show like this where I'm coaching, leading, sharing my life. Like, I want it to be casual in a way too, that I bring you in my kitchen. I even brought my little everyday makeup kit here. We'll do that maybe next week. Where it feels like it's something casual, but then there's also, so the other big piece of every show, how I mentioned a meditative moment, is that I'm going to have a wellness, what I call like a give, an experience built into every show. So not only are you going to hear what's going on with me, what I'm teaching, sharing, what we're connecting on, but you're going to receive something as if you went to a yoga class or did your meditation or your mindfulness exercise, or you went to a retreat and they did a physical exercise. You're like, that really helped. It really made me feel more alive. And so I'm going to build that into each show. So you get to be a viewer and get to just watch and be entertained, but then you get to experience. Because I really believe that these conversations, this new level of knowledge and learning and receiving needs to land. It needs to land in a ready body that feels online and feels alive. And so that is a huge part of my passion and my purpose, is to bring you online and alive to your life right now. So that's where the title comes in. This is who I am now. And really, it's a love letter to living. I don't know if can I curse on Substack? Living this out of your life. And where this comes from is, if you're familiar with me and my story and my community, or if you're new here, I lost my father at 17 years old to cancer, and he passed away. And I watched that all unfold and happen. And it was as devastating as you can imagine. And I really felt my dad was this larger than life personality. He was tall and handsome and commanded a room and had a laugh. And like, he just was one of those people that just, you meet him once and you never forget them. And when he passed, I really felt like the best way that I could honor him was to live my life really to the fullest, to really honor who I am and what I want and my dreams and my visions, and really go after them and embody them and feel them and dance with them and just fully live out loud. And what's funny, to bring us to kind of the more specific themes of the show, this worked really well for me in my, late teens, in my 20s. Well, my 20s actually ended up with a DUI. So maybe it didn't work so well. We took that a little extreme. We talk about that later. Let me know if you want me to write a post about my DUI. It was kind of a humbling and kind of fun. Nobody was hurt, and I was right on the edge. It was during the very, very strict rules in Los Angeles, so I should not laugh about it in that way. It was, but it was right when, the .001 or whatever over what would have been acceptable. So it was a teeny amount, but not excusing anything. Absolutely incorrect. Should not have done that. But my point is, I definitely took it too far in my 20s. And I think in my 30s, I really found a lot more balance with this idea of just living my life to the fullest. But I will say, I also let it run me into the ground a lot too. And I was able to have the babies, have the books, produce, show up, travel, run all of these coaching programs until I wasn't, until I no longer had the capacity and the bandwidth and the mental clarity and the sleep to sustain and support the way that I had been living. And so this all really shifted for me at 43 years old. I joke that 43 was my last good year. I'm 46 now. I'll be 47 in October. Give you kind of timeline. And that is what this, I definitely would say that I had perimenopause symptoms prior to 43, but 43 into 44 is when they really intensified and got loud. And what this looked like was brutal insomnia, different than my insomnia before. Like I would just be up and that was it, and no medication, and nothing could settle me. And brain fog, not knowing words. And again, that happens and we giggle when that happens with women, but it was like not knowing a lot. And leading coaching programs at the time where like I was losing train of thought, losing what I was teaching, which you imagine could be really frustrating for someone who's been doing this for so long. And it was not an example for me to give myself grace. It was more like, what the F is going on here? And then anxiety that wasn't my usual. I had struggled quite a bit with anxiety, but it was different. It was this like permanent lodge in my throat that I couldn't meditate out of. I couldn't wellness my way out of any of this. And I tried for 3 years to wellness. I don't want to say my way out of it because I was never running away. I'm always been pretty good at being like, this is not an escape. This isn't to try to like make this not happening. It was how could I support myself with all these wellness practices that I've been living and teaching for so many years? And sometimes it would help and be better and take out a little bit of the fire of the rage I was having and the mood swings. And a lot of it was, I think about so many moments that I've had with my kids and my husband, and it's like, not good, It's not the stuff you look at and you're like, there's no enlightened way to look at it. You're like, that was really bad. And you don't know who to blame, what's going on. And I want to say at 43, I didn't even know the word perimenopause. And it took me 3 years of white knuckling my way through that until I would say kind of my like rock bottom with it was this past November when I was leading a retreat at Kripalu, which is a yoga center in the Berkshires. And I could not remember anything in my opening talk. Like I had a loose outline, which I've always had, but I didn't even, I had moments where I was like, where am I? What am I doing? Like it was that bad. The brain fog was that bad. The sleeplessness was that bad. The anxiety was that bad. And I remember very specifically, I couldn't remember the word road. I was like, the thing you drive on and you walk across or, the chicken cross. Like I could not remember the word road. And I'm using that as an example to give you something so simple and so basic. So imagine if I couldn't think of the word road, let alone like an inspiring, share, teachables, intention setting. It's for me, it was brutal and incredibly humbling. And, but I guess I needed that moment to get me to the right doctor and seek support with hormone replacement therapy and eventually a low dose GLP-1 as well. And really experimenting with those medications and seeing how they affected me, how they supported me, how they didn't support me. What other supplementation I needed, what else I needed when it came to my wellness. I also started to see a therapist, which at 46 is kind of a wild time to just start seeing a therapist in your life. And one of the, I think one of the best things she said to me was, looking at me in my life, and she said, I think you're going to have to find a new measure of what success looks like for you. Because for so long, success was more and bigger, right? Really coming back to that idea of honoring my father and his memory and, how much can I do and how much can I live? And until I just couldn't anymore. And I want to say, I still think I do live a lot like that. If you look at my life or follow me on social media, if you're not, definitely follow me. It's just my name. I was at a concert Sunday night. I was at two music festivals last weekend and another concert. But, I am really still living my life to the fullest, but I'm also really balancing it to the fullest. I am resting way more than I ever did before. And it may not look like that as much on social media because it's like less interesting to share. But like literally I lay on my couch and pet my dog for a really long time, So I've just learned this better state of balance. And I do want to share that my HRT and GLP-1 journey has definitely been winding, and I'm in a different place than when I started. And likely next week, our full episode will be dedicated to my hormone replacement therapy journey and my GLP-1 journey, and sharing everything that I did and how it affected me, and what I had to step away from, what I had to bring back. So you will need to tune in next week for all the details and that. And I will just focus my entire show on that for you because there's so much in there. So bringing that back to now, where it's like I said, I was really suffering at 43. I've definitely found much more balance at 46 and a half now, and really, really fully claiming and owning this stage of life that I'm in and what it is and what it isn't. And while this isn't going to be just a show and a page around perimenopause, I always teach from what I know and what I'm going through, but the lessons and teachables and the threads, the beautiful threads that tie everything together, will be about so much more than that. And my hope is that you really feel, like I said, seen and supported, and that you have a place where you can ask questions, you can be curious, you can explore what it means for you to be living your life to the fullest and really claiming who you are. And so my question that I want to ask you, and you can post in the comments or after the video, is what's a conversation that you've been wanting to have that nobody seems to be having? What's something that like, you're like, why are we talking about this? Because that to me was the biggest thing about perimenopause. Like, I just wish somebody at some point had given me a little bit of a heads up so I wasn't just so in the dark, thinking, feeling that I was going crazy for 2 years straight, until the third year I started to see more information about it and I could seek more support. And it's still such a huge unknown. So I'd love to know from you, what are people not talking about? That could be anything. You know, there's so much juicy topics that I want to get into. It's like, I want you to feel like you have a friend that really can hear you. I just recently met with my friend Dana. And we didn't meet, we like hung out, but in Florida. And we were so on the same page with so many things, talking about marriage and sex and our careers and the things that we still hang us up in our minds. And um, I felt so light and so free after that conversation. I felt so happy. And so I want that for all of us because we deserve it. We really do. We deserve to feel happy in light of and in spite of everything that can feel so heavy happening out in the world. We deserve and get to come together and giggle and talk about makeup and what this top is from H&M. H&M is so good right now, by the way. Oh my God. Talk about our favorite lip gloss and what concert we want to see. And if I'm here to just help you have more fun in your life, I feel like there's a lot of people on social media I see are talking about fun. I'm like, I know her. She's not that fun. If you know me, I am that fun. And I want you to have your own version of whatever that is, because I really feel, like I said, in all my career and training and everything, certification I've done, books I've written, like fun to me is still the guiding light. It's still the beacon of it all, of really claiming this is who I am now. So it is the most important nutrient. So we are going to be connecting on getting it on the calendar and having a heck of a lot more of it. So you've got your little homework. I want to know what conversation you wish we were having that, you're not or you don't see. So let's have it together. You can post on the comments after or send me a message on Substack. And please, my ask of you is share this. We're just building this now. We have so many folks here. I think I saw the highest was 35, which is amazing. I'm new to this platform. I'm so happy you're here. I feel so incredibly grateful. And I hope this serves and supports you in the way that I've just had this clear vision, but of it happening. But I'm also super open to, different themes and topics and shaking things up too as we go along. So before we close, we're just going to do 3 deep, really grounding breaths together. So I want you, before we do that, think of something that I said that just made you smile. Anything that I said that made you smile. And if you don't have an example, just think of something that makes you smile, whether it's the sun or the moon or a butterfly or I see a little bee outside on my porch, or, just something that makes you smile. And I want you to gently close your eyes if you feel called to. You also can keep them open and, of course, be safe. Bring that smile into your body. So it's on our face right now, but can you feel that smile radiating down into your heart? And we are bringing our breath in as we're doing that. So slowly breathing in and slowly breathing out. Envisioning that smile in your heart. Continuing your breath. Next, can you bring that smile into your belly and let your tummy relax and receive and feel that smile and the warmth of it within. And next, I want you to send that smile to a future moment just for yourself. We're not bringing this to other people yet. We are here for us right now. We have permission to just be here for us. So maybe there's something you need to do tonight, whether it's bedtime with the kids or you have an obligation on the calendar, an interview, anything. I want you to picture yourself smiling the way you are now and feeling that in your heart and your belly and your body. And I want you to picture yourself in that future moment, smiling with the same warmth, the same sense of community, of joy, of being held. Beautiful. So let us close with 3 deep breaths together, breathing in, expanding that belly and breathing out, strapping your shoulders, breathing in, relaxing your face, and breathing out really fully on that next exhale. Get the end of it. Breathing in last time. And a slow exhale out. If your eyes were closed, you can gently invite them open, coming back to this present moment, hoping that smile is holding you just a little bit in this beautiful moment. And thank you so much for being here. If you enjoy this, you can share in the chat. I have one of my OG rock stars here saying, hi, loving being back here. It's like OG days. Yeah. Nostalgia is very popular right now. And I get it. I get it. And I feel like there's wisdom in how we felt 10 years ago that wants to be brought into the present moment. And there's also a newness, right? A yet to be seen, a yet to be experienced that wants to be a part of this as well. And so can we bring those two halves and meet in this beautiful place together with a smile, with that warmth in our heart and with that breath in our bodies. So thank you so much for being here. Welcome to This Is Who I Am Now. And big kiss, give a little hug, little heart. And I will see you next week. And I will see you on this page with lots of content before that. If you're not a subscriber, please go ahead and subscribe. There's an option to be a Robyn's Rockstar, which gets you my July Psychic Circle call. So that will be, if we can do it here, we'll do it here. We might do it on Zoom, but that will be literally like a full psychic download for the group. So you won't want to miss that. I offered it at a really reasonable price. And I think it'd be really cool to see what comes out in that little circle. But if you're just here as a free subscriber, I'm so grateful. I see you. Any tier helps. And like I said, most importantly is that we just show up and we share and be here together. Big kiss, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone. Bye.